Tip 6, we're going to go through a little faster on some of these. Key one of this is, on this exam, really nobody cares if you're a brilliant designer. I know that's sort of shocking and hard to believe, and you've been building up your whole life to prove to everybody that you're the best designer around. Nobody cares. The only person that's going to read this, look at it, is a computer. Computer doesn't care. It doesn't get a tear in its eye when you have a beautiful sequence or hierarchy shown or something like that. It's about competence. It's about the health, safety, and welfare of the public. So that means that beauty and all of that does not come into it. And in fact, if it starts to come into it, if you find yourself doing one of the vignettes, you're doing the schematic design vignette, and the word beauty or hierarchy comes into your mind, you should just turn the computer off and walk out, because you've just failed it. Like, you're not going to pass that exam if you're thinking that way. What you have to be thinking about is, it's a puzzle. The vignettes are puzzles. They have architectural content, but they are not architecture, right? So there's going to be a bunch of information. I'm using as an example the schematic design here. There's going to be a bunch of information that's going to come at you. You have to find a way to translate that information into something useful. So my example that I'm showing here is, you make a little matrix. Find a way to jot down on your scratch paper what the key pieces of information are. It's as important to practice how you're going to translate the information as it is to practice using the program. It's really important to know how you're going to move through that information. It's at least as important as understanding how to actually draw in that particular program. So it's a puzzle. Think of it as a puzzle and then move through. That's kind of the key of any of the vignettes. When you're thinking about the schematic design vignette, you actually know what it's going to be. It's going to be a 2-story building. It's going to have double height space in it. That double height space is going to be the truck bay for the fire trucks, or it's going to be the gymnasium for the junior high, or it's going to be the reading room for the library, or whatever, right? It's going to be a small institutional building, 2 stories. You have to deal with the stairs. You have to make sure the stairs line up. Nothing else really needs to line up. The upper floor doesn't even have to be the same size as the lower floor. That's not what it's about. It's a planning exercise. It's not about architecture. So it is not architecture. It is a puzzle about architecture. It will look something very much like this. Don't try to make it anything else from that. If you find yourself, so here's an example where you've got, here's a lobby, and here's a stair, and another stair, and I have this nice straight corridor. I'm going to put the big room wherever, because for whatever program reason they want it there. Oh, maybe that's not a good one. Okay, maybe I'm going to do it with a stair there and a stair there and a nice little L shape with the lobby. That's great. Looks all great. I got another couple. If I find myself doing something like this, just throw it away, start again, right? Simplicity, make it simple. Don't. It's not simple from the standpoint of be a modernist or anything like that. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, if it's simple to look at, it'll be simple for you to find the mistakes. It'll be simple to make sure everything works. It'll be simple to make sure you're not missing anything. Keep it competent and simple and straightforward. So the schematic design has the building design and the interior layout. Most people actually have trouble with the interior layout, the little tiny one, not the schematic design one, because you actually have a fair amount of time for the schematic design one. The interior layout, you have a very limited period of time, and it seems like it should be so easy. You have to put a couple offices in, put some furniture in. We've all done that a million times, right? Like, how hard could that be? But actually, you have to do it really fast, and it's pretty tricky. And you have to make sure that you're working with the correct accessibility. So I have, in order for somebody in a wheelchair to be able to open a door, I have pull side and push side distances, right? That on the next to the latch, I've got the 60-inch circle. All of that stuff becomes hugely important to make sure you got to get it all the work and all of those things. You definitely want to spend some time practicing your speed
Blackspectacles.com is the home of online learning for architecture and design. You can go to blackspectacles.com, kind of get a taste of this online A.R.E. prep curriculum we built with AI Chicago and Mike, covering all 7 sections of the exam. And there are free tutorials in every one of those courses. As a part of today's session, you're eligible for coupon codes for your A.R.E. membership. 15% off the monthly membership and 30% off an annual membership, all through the end of the month. And we're doing group memberships. So if you want to get one for your firm, or you want your firm to buy one for you, you can go to blackspectacles.com/business, or just email me. We're running a promotion again where business memberships are 15% off as well. Our next webinar is going to be different. What we're going to do is we're going to sort of have a no-holds-barred Q&A session with Mike. It's not specific to an exam. Whatever exam you're working on, you have a question, you've tried to solve a vignette, and you don't like your answer, you're unsure about your answer, put it in a PDF and email it to me. And what we'll do is we're just going to take them first come, first serve, and everyone who submits them will take an hour, and Mike will answer them one after the other. So it'll be a cool event because if you actually have a question, you can get a real answer. And if you just want to see what other people are kind of wrestling with, it'd be a great way to learn from other people's questions and problems and so on. So that's going to be on April 22nd.